Hello class, welcome to Psych2. My name is Dr. Robin Goins-Cornell and I am your professor for this session. I have been teaching at Barstow for about 10 years and I've taught this class I don't know how many times, and I look forward to teaching it and sharing with you the joy of developmental psych. I will tell you a little bit about who I am and then we'll talk about the class. I am an industrial organizational psychologist. My PhD is in that, as well as my master's, and all that really means is it's a field of psychology that focuses on behavior in the workplace, but all the same theories and concepts apply. Psychology is psychology, people are people, and we all do what we do. So that said, I want to go over the syllabus with you a little bit. I want to go over the requirements of the class and get you started on a good note so that we can have a great class. In the course shell, now the shell means the course, if this is new to you, if you're a new online student, that is the course website, if you will, the shell. In there you can find everything you need from your syllabus to all the modules, all the requirements for the class, proctor information, exam stuff, your grade book, everything. But I'll get into that shortly. Let's start with the book that you need for the class. This is the 9th edition. It looks like this. The Developing Person Through the Lifespan by Kathleen Berger, 9th edition. Now that's very important because the editions change, and with that changes the content. So we want to make sure that we stay on top of that and we don't move around too much on the content because you'll get confused. Second of all, you will notice there in the course shell, there is, excuse me, I'm having a little frog in my throat. Excuse me, you will find a syllabus. You can print this out, but we're going to go over it really quick. You will see the course name. You will see my information if you need to contact me. Now on that note, email's the best way because I can get back to you faster. But if it's urgent, you can do a phone call, but in most cases, an email is the best because I can get back to you as quickly as possible. And all of the course content is in here, which I'm going to go over with you farther into my lecture videos. I will have a lecture video for each module. Every module has your assignment, your quizzes, anything that's due that week that's in the syllabus. It will all correspond. So if you have any questions on that, make sure you cross-check and read your syllabus carefully. Okay, so our objectives are all in there, which is describing and developing, including biosocial, cognitive, and psychosocial as constant set of processes involving both continuity and change by giving examples from the literature. That's one. We're going to analyze different developmental events from the perspective of the major theories of development, theories in psychology, what that means, cognitive, humanistic, and psychoanalytic, and we're going to recognize those theories when used by others to analyze events. So we're going to look at theory. We're going to explain how research contributes to the development and evaluation within topics of interest. So we're going to have a topic of interest every week as we go through the class. We're going to list the stages of prenatal, postnatal development, and all of the parts of birth, and then the same thing through the death process. And then we're going to chart the developmental periods of the human organism or the human being. And we all have some pretty basic traits, the human animal, and that's what we do. So we're going to talk about that. Okay, we're going to talk about the various stages, which is conception all the way through late adulthood, and that includes the first 2 years, the play years, the school years, adolescence, early adulthood, middle adulthood, and late adulthood. And then finally, the epilogue is the last stages of life. Okay, again, I told you what your textbook is, so you're going to see that we have lectures. There's written lectures in each module, but there's also these videos that I will be doing to kind of fill in the gaps for you. We have discussion assignments. It's very important to remember the discussion is the equivalent in an online class to you being in class. So if you miss the discussions, you will miss some serious points. And the reason for that is if you're not in class, I can't give you grades. So the way discussions work is they're called, when you write it, answer the questions in the discussions, you are posting. Posting means that you're answering a question or giving a comment. Now, I grade in a couple different ways. First of all, I grade in quantity. So that means you have to post 3 days a week, meaning you have to be in class minimum 3 days a week. You post to my initial question for that week, and then you can post to myself or some other students later in the discussion thread. But the point is you have to post 3 separate days, not all in one day, 3 separate days. And I also grade for quality, meaning a post like, hey Susan, that's really great, I agree with you, is not a quality post. Quality post is at least 250 words, tells me that you're understanding the material and you're answering the questions. So that's very important that you remember that, because that is part of your grade and a big part. Now I can work with you on late assignments if I can prove that it's a legitimate reason, but discussions are, I can't work with that because that's like not coming to class. So and that's very important. And then you're going to have a few assignments. You're going to do an interview project. You're going to interview some kind of psychologist and write an essay about whatever it is you want to know. So if it's a child development psychologist, or it's a counselor, or it's someone who works with elderly, whatever it is, you get to do that, or someone that works with adolescents. But that's a bit of a challenge, so I encourage you to get started right away on finding someone to interview. It's very important. Okay? I don't like late assignments. Like I said, I can work with you if it's within reason, but you need to be on time. I have a lot of students, and when I have a lot of students coming in late with their assignments, it's a pain. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to start that precedent. So stay on top of things. You'll have quizzes, and those will be in the course shell. You can take those. You're going to have a research paper at the end of class. That's all in your syllabus, so I'm not going to go into great detail, but your research topic is due at the end of week 3. Very important. This is a psychology class, so you want to use APA format. For those of you who are new to that, that's American Psychological Association standard for writing in psychology. You should all have a 6th edition American Psychological Association manual that will explain it to you, but there's also a lot of great resources. Purdue OWL, P-U-R-D-U-E, OWL, for Purdue University, is a great resource. It explains APA as well as their website. But you have to write in APA. Now we're going to talk about citations. What is a citation? Citation is supposed to be peer reviewed. This is a science class for those of you who did not know that. And so you need to cite what we call scholarly references. Wikipedia is not that. Websites are not that. These are peer reviewed journals, articles, newspapers, magazines, whatever. But they cannot just be a bunch of websites. I will mark you down on your resources if you do that. So make sure that you're studying, you're looking for good resources, and the library has all kinds of great stuff for you to review. You're going to have 2 exams. You'll have your midterm and your final. Your midterm is online, but your final is proctored. And what that means is if you can't do it at the school, you have to get a proctor, which means I have to prove the proctor. I have to send them the code, get them in there, blah, 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 blah. So get started on that now, because time goes by pretty quickly, and I have a lot of students that wait till the 11th hour and then they're in trouble. So try not to do that, and if you need a proctor, get that paperwork in right away. There are some extra credit assignments that you can have till the end of the class to do, so I encourage you to do that, and they're listed in your syllabus, a couple of different samples of or options for you if you want to make some extra points.